What happens when we begin to realize that the 200-year experiment we've called the American healthcare system has failed? Tune in to Awakened Wellness with Mylène Riobe, MD, and join the conversation about how to heal our broken system to reverse our current health crisis. The entire world is looking for answers, and the truth is hidden in plain sight. Learn how spirituality, ancient traditions, and cutting-edge science are merging to create a new paradigm of wellness. Every Tuesday at 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. with live shows on the first and third mornings when you can call in and ask the questions that matter most to you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Mylène Riobe, and you're listening to Awakened Wellness with Mylène Riobe, MD. We're going on an eye-opening, mind-expanding adventure into wellness and disease prevention. We'll be debunking myths, learning about cutting-edge research, corroborating ancient medical systems, and exploring the mind-body-spirit approaches that keep you and your family vibrant, healthy, and happy. Today we're talking about Alzheimer's dementia, how to lower your risk safely and naturally. I'd like to stress that what I'll be discussing today on our show does not constitute medical advice, because I'm not specifically evaluating and treating any particular person or condition on the show. My patients who come to see me at the Riobe Institute are fully and properly evaluated before I formulate a treatment plan to share with them. So I also advise you to seek the care of a board-certified integrative medical doctor to see which of the ideas I'll be sharing throughout the show may benefit you. I'm blessed and honored to be with you here today on Dream Vision 7 Radio. We're live every first and third Tuesday morning at 11 a.m., with pre-recorded shows on the second and fourth Tuesday mornings, also at 11. We also have our pre-recorded shows available for you every Tuesday night at 11, right here on Dream Vision 7 Radio. During our live shows, I encourage you to call with your questions. We're live today, February 19th. Our number is 833-220-1200. That's 833-220-1200. Feel free to give us a call. I'd love to hear your questions and comments throughout the show. I'm the medical director at the Riobe Institute of Integrative Medicine here in Jupiter, Florida. I've been a practicing physician for over 17 years, and I have the privilege of being double board certified in the newly accepted field of integrative medicine as well as in OBGYN. I grew rapidly frustrated with our conventional medical model, like millions of Americans. But it happened to me very early, right after completing my residency back in 2001. I suddenly realized that I wasn't at all equipped, despite 13 years of advanced training. What I realized was that our conventional model was only equipped to deal with acute life-threatening conditions and had limited ability to prevent or treat chronic conditions, which constitute the vast majority of today's health concerns, like our topic today, dementia. It's the sixth leading cause of death in the United States. It's responsible for 60 to 80% of all dementia cases. It impacts those 65 years and older, although approximately 200,000 Americans are suffering from what we call early onset Alzheimer's under the age of 65. It's a progressive disease. Most succumb to this disease and die after approximately 4 to 8 years after being diagnosed. What's happening to our memory? Why are we losing our memory in this way? Why are older people in other countries not suffering from this particular condition at the same rate that we are here in the United States? These are issues we're going to tackle today, and we're going to talk about how you can safely and naturally lower your risk of dementia. Dementia isn't something for old people anymore. It's not something people get in their 80s and 90s. It's something that we're getting earlier and earlier. And it is alarming and does deserve focus in a better direction. So according to conventional medicine, the cause of Alzheimer's dementia is the death of brain cells. That seems kind of empty to me. There has to be a reason why brain cells just die. They're not meant to die this early. So what's going on? We'll talk about that today. Alzheimer's dementia is known to have 3 different stages. There's the early stage, where a patient might relate difficulty remembering words or names. They may have difficulty remembering things they've just read or have been told. For example, someone's name. They may have trouble planning or organizing, or they may have trouble misplacing things. These don't really help because even me, I remember having these issues when I was in my 20s. And so a lot of early onset Alzheimer's dementia is missed. It's not paid attention to, so to speak. We think it's just part of life. And in many, many ways it is. Then there's the middle stage of Alzheimer's dementia. Perhaps you can't remember phone numbers at this point or your own address. Can't remember what college or high school you attended. Patients with middle stage Alzheimer's dementia become moody and irritable, and their family members often report having difficulty controlling their tempers. They sometimes forget to bathe. They may have sleep disturbances or difficulty controlling their bladder or bowels. In the late stage, they have difficulty walking, swallowing, or even sitting up straight. At this point, they need full-time assistance with all their daily activities. They're very vulnerable to infections, especially pneumonia, and they have difficulty communicating. The diagnosis of Alzheimer's dementia is mostly clinical. In other words, a doctor will assess memory and thinking skills, will assess personality changes. They may interview family members. An MRI, a CAT scan, or a PET scan of the head is usually also performed. This is for two reasons. Findings that would be seen on a scan of the head are not diagnostic of Alzheimer's, but they help to rule out other causes of dementia. For example, mini strokes, or what are called TIA, or masses, tumors. In and of themselves, MRIs, CAT scans, and PET scans are not diagnostic of Alzheimer's, but they are helpful and they're often done. Sometimes we see what are called plaques, beta amyloid plaques in particular, on these scans. And those are proteins that are made by these brain cells as they are dysfunctioning and dying off. So what is the conventional treatment of Alzheimer's? In mild stages, they're often treated with what are called cholinesterase inhibitors. What these do is they inhibit the destruction of neurotransmitters that help people to think and recall. So what this does is it delays the worsening of symptoms in people who have Alzheimer's dementia. It doesn't treat the condition at all. It simply tries to slow it down. Oftentimes it doesn't really slow it down considerably. Some of the side effects of these medications include mostly gastrointestinal symptoms of nausea, vomiting, loss of appetite, and loose stools, which in traditional Chinese medicine would be recognized as what we call spleen qi deficiency, or a weakening of the gastrointestinal system. In moderate to severe Alzheimer's dementia, memantine drugs are used. So these are more potent than the cholinesterase inhibitors, and they tend to regulate glutamic acid or glutamate to assist with information processing in the brain. Again, it slows down the process slightly, but not considerably. Some of the side effects of these drugs are constipation, headache, confusion, and dizziness. According to the conventional model, the brain is hardwired. I studied this in medical school. Once the brain cells are gone, they're gone for good. We have an understanding that memory loss cannot be stopped or reversed. We almost accept it as a part of aging. But now that it's happening earlier and earlier, I think we need to question this model. So what are some of the holistic theories about Alzheimer's dementia? In the journal called Cell back in 2013, it was discovered that a part of the brain called the hippocampus actually makes new neurons each and every day. So they found about 700 new neurons are created daily from the hippocampus region of the brain. They called this neurogenesis. And they also surmise that this number can be substantially increased. So we had scientific evidence back in 2013 that once brain cells go, they're not gone for good. They can actually be replaced. So we used to think that there were certain cells of the body that simply could not be replaced, heart cells and brain cells, and we're beginning to understand that that's not really the case. In April of 2016, in the Journal of Physiology, there was a discovery that aerobic exercise actually increases the number of new neurons that are made in the brain. It was also understood based in the study that chronic stress blocks the formation of new neurons. So reducing stress actually allows you to make more brain cells. Aerobic activity allows you to make more brain cells. So these are fairly simple concepts, but unfortunately not discussed in our conventional model. So we have to kind of go outside the box to learn about these things. But these are two simple things that can really go a long way to help prevent Alzheimer's dementia. Another study found increased sexual activity increases brain cell formation. There's also this concept of neuroplasticity, the ability to make neural connections. So not just to make brain cells themselves, but to get them to work in cooperation with other brain cells, which is extremely important for activity. In order to make memory or build memory to learn new things, your brain cells actually have to work as a team. They have to coordinate with other brain cells and exchange information. This is called neuroplasticity, and it's the ability to make these connections. So there's a concept coined by Dr. Hebb that says neurons that fire together wire together. What this means is when these brain cells repeatedly coordinate for particular activities, they begin to hardwire into those activities. And that's how our memory is actually created. So if we're not performing the activities or doing the things that allow our brain cells to connect with each other and to coordinate with each other, we lose not only our memory, but our cognitive abilities, our abilities to even think. So brain cells don't work in a vacuum. They have to be part of a team, a seamless part of a team, just like your entire body. Your entire body works seamlessly as a team. Each individual cell does what it does as part of that team, plays its own instrument. But together as a whole, it's a flawless symphony. And the brain is no different. There's also a concept of neurobics, which was a new concept to me. In the Journal of Neuroscience back in December of 2015, it was discovered that three-dimensional video games improve memory 12% more than two-dimensional video games due to the need to focus. So when we're in a three-dimensional model of a video game, you're much more absorbed into the game, and of course you have to focus a lot more intently than when you're looking at a two-dimensional screen to play a video game. So the need to focus and the focus itself on the activity turns out to be the secret sauce to hardwire memory in the brain and to not lose memory. Focus was determined to be critical in memory formation and neuroplasticity. So in other words, the coordination of all your brain cells to hardwire memory was based on how much you focused on what you were doing. So they recommended little things like brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand. So if you're right-handed, they recommended brushing your teeth with your left hand. Why? Because obviously you have to focus more when you do that. They recommended reading about new things, learning, problem solving. These activities were shown to help reverse memory loss. Again, really simple things. It's just paying attention. At the University of California, San Francisco, Dr. Merzenich studied monkeys and memory. He determined that there were profound structural brain changes noted in monkeys who paid close attention in order to be rewarded from a certain stimulus.